What does it take to win? I think that's really what I want to sort of talk to you about today. You know, lots of people say you got to have a good game plan, you got to have great preparation, you got to have a foolproof system. In our case, it's offense, defense, special teams, recruiting, you know, all those types of things that we have to do that you can relate to what you have to do. And you have to have ability to adjust those things to the circumstance that you're in. But to me, the real key to winning is all about mindset. Mindset in your organization. All right, that's what's going to help you win. You got to have a vision. You got to have a vision for what you want to accomplish in your organization. Now, our vision is to create an atmosphere and environment where our players have a better chance to be successful in life because they were involved in our program through personal development, student academic success, being the best football player that they can be, and investing in their future and their ability to be successful in the future. So it doesn't really matter what your vision is. It could be to climb Mount Everest. You know, Michael Johnson spent 1,000 hours on affecting his time in the 200 meter so he could win a gold medal in the Olympics. 1,000 hours he invested. So it doesn't really matter what you want to accomplish or what you want to do. You have to have a vision for it, and then you have to understand here's a defined process of things that we need to do to be able to accomplish this. So I don't care, again, if you're climbing Mount Everest, right, if you want to improve your track time, you want to win a championship in football, you want to have a more successful business, it doesn't really matter. But the most important thing and where people fail the most is you have to have the discipline to execute it every day. So what is discipline? And I'm sure you've heard doing what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, the way it's supposed to get done, right thing, right way, right time, all the time. But really the way I define it, and I think everybody in here can relate to this, I know our players can relate to it because we all do it 100 times a day. And we've probably already done it at some point today. Here's something that I know I'm supposed to do that I really don't want to do. Can you make yourself do it? Then over here, there's something that you know you're not supposed to do, but you want to do it. Can you keep yourself from doing it? Well, this sort of moral code that we all make decisions and choices about every day is what helps us stay focused on the process. So this is really everything that we talk about is going to come down to how do you have the discipline to execute and do the things that you need to do your part. And one thing that everybody has to overcome to be able to do this is, am I going to do what I feel like doing, or am I going to choose to do the things I need to do to accomplish the goal and the vision that I have? This is a huge hurdle for everybody. Because how many times have you heard somebody say, I don't feel like doing that? It doesn't matter what you feel like. You got to make choices and decisions based on what you want to accomplish and what you want to do. You got to be committed to it, and it's got to be important to you if you're able to do that. The other thing that people get affected by so much is, are you able to focus on the vision that you have, or are you going to get affected by the circumstance that you're in all the time? When you're a part of a team, which I'm sure all of you are trying to build a team out there, you know, you have the right to fail. Each and every one of you have the right to fail. And I tell our players this all the time. You have the right to make the choices and decisions to fail. But you really don't have the right to make those choices and decisions that affect everybody else and cause them to fail. So you have to be responsible for your own self-determination and doing the right thing. Now, but the individual makes the team what it is. It doesn't go the other way. You know, it's not about, some people think that Alabama has a successful team, so if I join that team, I'm going to be successful. It's not how it goes. You know, there's no I in team. I know you've heard that many times before, but there is an I in win. And that stands for the individual who has the right intensity, immediacy, sense of urgency, and intelligence to carry out and do the role that he needs to do. What skills are you going to have to acquire? Who are you going to have to work with to be able to acquire those skills? What obstacles are you going to have to overcome? And probably the biggest obstacle we all have to overcome is self-pity. You have to be positive about the way you go about the habits that you need to create to accomplish the goals that you have. And because of that commitment, will you make the choices to do the right things, to be your best, and to care about other people? Those are the things that I think are going to be very, very important. So if you're going to be a team and you're going to create a team, everybody's got to understand togetherness is really, really important. Together, everybody's going to be able to accomplish more. But what are the key factors in people working together? The first one is respect. The second one is trust. You have to respect and trust the principles and values of the organization. You have to respect and trust the standard that people set in the organization for everyone to work toward. And you have to respect and trust each other. I've been a part of a team since I was 9 years old. I started playing Little League Baseball. Now I'm 64 years old, and I'm still part of a team. And when a team accomplishes something of significance, like this last year's team did, because they had the right stuff, they had the right psychological disposition, all right, to keep doing things at a high standard, even when things didn't go well. So being a part of the team, a team is one of the greatest feelings you're ever going to get. You got to get the right people on the bus, you got to get them in the right seats, and you got to get the wrong people off the bus. Because mediocre people don't like high achievers, and high achievers don't like mediocre people. And if you let those two things coexist in your organization, you're never going to have any togetherness. Because there's always going to be somebody looking over their shoulder saying, I have to do something, and that person over there doesn't have to do it, or refuses to do it, or doesn't do it. So that respect and trust that I talked about, it's not going to exist. So you think you're doing yourself a favor? You think you're doing yourself a favor by not making changes and not doing things that you need to do. And, you know, it's harder to do when things are going well. Sales are good. We won a lot of games. We won a championship. I see problems in our organization that I'm going to have to fix. And it's hard to fix them because it affects people. But it needs to get done. And if you don't do it, regardless of what's happening, it's going to bite you in the butt. It's going to get you. It's going to get you down the road. What is your behavior doing to help you accomplish the goals that you set out and told me you wanted to accomplish? Tell me how this behavior is helping you. And if the guy doesn't show the ability or the discipline to do those things on a consistent basis, they really can't be part of the team. If you don't have positive people, and one of the most things that I see out there most, and question yourself about this. Don't judge other people and other things. Don't judge. Just go through one day and don't judge anything. I hear all the time, I don't like this guy because of the way he wears his hair. Well, who are you to judge that? How about the kind of person he is? How about the kind of things that he does? All right, don't judge. Be committed to the things that you need to do that you can control to be all that you can be. And if you have any leadership, you're going to try to affect that other person too, which I'm going to talk about. Provide the leadership to develop the relationships. Don't forget that part. To help people create and accomplish the opportunities that they have and help them establish the discipline they need to do it. So what is leadership? If what I just said is true, leadership is about helping somebody else, affecting somebody else for their benefit. Not for your benefit, for their benefit. If you're doing it for your benefit, it's manipulation. And people can see right through that. You got to do it for their benefit. So you got to develop a relationship because they got to know you care. Success is not continuous. Just because you're having success doesn't mean you're going to continue to have success. Just because we won 13 games last year doesn't mean we're going to win the first game next year. Or win 10 games or 12 games or even 9 games. Doesn't mean we're going to win any game. And when you have complacency and you get satisfied, it creates a blatant disregard for doing the right things. So you start to resent the very things that got you where you were. We pride ourselves in hard work. I resent that. I resent the hard work that you're making us do. Why are we running sprints? Well, we always ran them. This is what we did, exactly what we did last year on this day.